All right. Good Friday morning, everyone. How y'all doing? Man, good.
Maybe we have two people awake over here.
Yeah, really. I think they just ate a breakfast, so their eyes may be going down quick. So, no. So, today is Friday, March 29th, 2024, and this is your Friday morning meeting. Want to give a big shout out. This is a Good Friday, too. So, hey, welcome, everyone. And, Johnny, this morning, I walked by the gym behind us and they had all those Easter eggs out. So I started, hey, man, looks like fair game to me. I tried to go in there and they say, no, you can't go. It's only for kids 10 and under. I don't know about that, man.
I don't agree with that.
Yeah, I know, man. I was thinking, but hey, that's where all the fun is. So if you're not 10 and under, you can't go out in the gym, guys and gals. Just letting you know that. So I think that's probably the vast majority of us in here. But anyway, it is Good Friday, and just want to welcome everybody. This morning, let's take it up to, let's go out east. Let's start east today, Pittston, Pennsylvania. We got Rick Gifford out there. Ricky?
Good morning. How y'all doing?
We are doing good. Yourself?
Hey, doing great. Great week this week with classes. Everybody's eager to learn and go down to the pad and do their pre-trips. And we got a bunch of guys down at the pad working on their CDL licenses. So, yeah, it's been a great week.
Good to hear, man. How's the weather up there? Is it starting to straighten out and get a little spring-like?
It is straightening out. This weekend's not going to be too bad. Easter Sunday is supposed to be, partly sunny. But starting Monday, we're working on April showers.
I think that's what they're calling for down here, too. We need it. We need the rain, definitely. So we'll talk about rain and all that and the weather here in a little bit. But, Rick, if you guys got any questions, concerns, make sure you jump on the mic. Let us know.
All right. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for having us.
Appreciate you, too. Let's go out west to Salt Lake City. We got Tyler Patrick.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. It's a great day here in Salt Lake City. Missing my partner, Aaron, again this week, but we'll be glad to have him back next week when he gets off his time away. But anyways, guys, we've been still seeing some intermittent weather out here. We had some snow throughout the week, but, spring's coming and bringing a bright future. So tomorrow we're actually having our Easter egg hunt here tomorrow. We're planning it to be inside the gym and the cafeteria area here. So, if you're in the area, by all means, stop by. We're going to be having a great time here tomorrow. Additionally, we got a lot of open trucks headed this way. So if you're nearing your end of lease, talk to your fleet manager. We got some great opportunities out here for some nice new trucks. So if that's something we can make applicable, we'd love to have you out here to process that end of lease for you. Lots of shop capacity here. So quick turnarounds on those.
Awesome, Tyler. How's your crew out there? You got quite a few people there for the meeting. Usually you guys sound a little bit louder.
Yeah, no, it's a little bit of a quiet day here. It's cold and dreary outside. We are missing a few people here, but the people here, we got all 10s today. Everybody's happy to be here. That's present. So
good deal. Got any questions, concerns? Make sure you jump on the mic, man. Let us know. Love to hear from you.
There they are. Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
All right, you too, man. Take care. Back to Springfield. Good morning, everyone. All right, got a little action there, John. So sounds good. This morning, I got John Harden up here with us, or with me, I should say. John's in our safety department. Been here about 20 years now, haven't you? I think you hit that 20-year mark.
Hit it last year.
Yeah, good deal. So good to have him. I'm Dave White, and I work with John in the safety department. And glad to host the meeting. If you guys have any questions, concerns, make sure you let us know. Before we get too further on, if you're new to orientation this week or new to Prime, all three terminals, if you could stand and be recognized, we'd love to give you a round of applause. So stand on up if you're new to orientation. Looks like it may be a little thin on the new folks this week, but that's okay.
Yeah, we've got a holiday week and, going into that, so it tends to slow down a little bit. But, good morning, everybody. Welcome. I'm John Harden, like David mentioned. And, first, I'm seeing everybody eating out there, and I'm a little bit jealous because I haven't had breakfast yet. So let's give John Blansett and his crew a round of applause here in Springfield. And the crews at the other two terminals as well. So we appreciate that. So if you are new to Prime here, welcome. This is a family environment, and we're happy that you're here. We did our research on you. Hopefully you did yours on us. If you're here, it means you're the best of the best, and we want to put you out there with one of the best trainers that we have and make you have a successful career in business here at Prime. So, Dave, you want to add anything to that to our new folks?
Yeah, just welcome and love having you, and welcome to the best company, the truck driving company you're going to come, because especially if you're new and you haven't driven much or haven't driven at all and you're getting your CDL through us, we're going to put you through that. We're going to get you out on the road with some qualified trainers and get you the real life experience that will help you get better quicker and move you along as far as your professional driving career. So, but other than that, yeah, we're Easter weekend. You know, hopefully we get rid of the snow that's been going on up north. I think the temperatures are starting to change a little bit. I've got some relatives that live up in Iowa, and got a son that goes to college up in North Dakota, and he says, Dad, it is getting a little warmer up here. So that's better. That's better. But, you know, we still got to keep our eyes out for the weather, and, you know, those things can change real quick. And we had that this last couple of weeks. We've had some snowstorms coming through, so can't take our foot off that. But and remember that when you're in those inclement conditions and to drive safely. So,
You know, one thing about the weather, you know, this time of year, you know, it's very common to get the melting during the day and then the refreezing at night. And we've seen that, you know, up north, as Dave has mentioned, from Minnesota and out west. So, you know, we've had a couple of accidents where the phone calls we've received were, I hit black ice, I had no idea, you know, but the conditions were right for it. You know, you could tell by looking at the pictures that, you know, maybe we shouldn't have been out there on the road. Maybe we should have evaluated a little bit more, waited till the sun came up. You know, there's a number of different things that you can do to see if it's going to be safe to drive out there. And the last thing that we want you to do is take any kind of chance, you know, going out there. Nobody here has anything to prove driving on bad road conditions, right? Making the safe decision, protecting yourself, protecting the motoring public. That's our number one priority. That's what we want to be your number one priority. If you have any questions or anything, feel free to reach out to your fleet manager, reach out to the safety department. We'll be more than happy to help you look and, you know, do the best we can to assist with that.
and that's what we're here for. Just what John said, you know, we're here to help you out. It's easy being Monday morning quarterback and be able to judge some of these acts and say, why did the driver do this? Why did the driver do that? We got, you know, the easy job on that, but you all have the toughest job in this company, and that's delivering freight, picking it up, dealing with the weather. This weekend, Easter weekend, be expected more traffic out there and more people really not paying attention. You know, they're worried about going to church, or they're worried about going to grandma's or grandpa's or mom and dad's for dinner. And they're not really worried about the necessarily safe driving and what they're doing out on the roadway. And of course, what that bleeds into is cell phone use and not paying attention to what's going on inside their vehicle. So be aware of that. And then you're going to see increased traffic, and all of our operators are out there running right now. Thank you for doing that. And thank you for dealing with the traffic and dealing with it safely. Because at the end of the day, you know, we run 15, 16 million miles a week. And that's amazing here. And when we could come up here and only talk about maybe one or two accidents, you know, maybe we slid off the road or we had a rollover or something. Yeah, it shouldn't have happened, but that's pretty darn good, I think, overall. And I think our operators do a great job dealing with that. But, you know, at the end of the day, we don't want anybody to get involved in accidents, even if it's not your fault. That's not worth it, because you got truck damage, you get trailer damage. We have to deal with that. And then we've got customer that's wanting their freight. And this is the time of year too. We want to try to keep that on-time delivery if we can do it and keep our customers happy. But more importantly, though, it's about safe driving. So thank you for what you do. Thank you for making our jobs easier. But like John says, if you have any questions, concerns, let us know. That's what we're here for, to support you.
Absolutely. Well, let's jump into some numbers on the compliance side from this past week. I went through the inspections. We had 116 total inspections. We had 83 of those clean, so we had a 72% pass rate. So great job. Give yourselves a round of applause. You know, you guys are probably double the industry average out there as far as that's concerned. I do want to talk about a few of them, and this is going to sound like a broken record, right? Groundhog Day, whatever you want to call it. You know, the violations that we did have, we're looking at the same ones weekly. We've got speeding, seatbelt, not wearing a seatbelt, not wearing a seatbelt properly, bypassing scale, ag station, brake check, whatever the case may be. And then we had a couple of handheld device violations as well. So, you know, these are all major violations that affect our CSA scores. And a lot of these are just senseless. And all they are is you guys paying money out that you shouldn't have to, right? So when you're out there in your truck, we ask, you know, first thing, put your seatbelt on. You know, that should be pretty much 101. You know, it's the law. It protects you, could save your life. So please do that. There's no reason not to wear your seatbelt out there. Speeding, make sure that we're paying attention to signs. make sure, especially, on these smaller highways and, going into small towns where it goes from 65 to 55 to 45 to 35 to 45, that's where we're getting our tickets at. We don't have trucks that run 70 miles an hour, 80 miles an hour out there on the road. So that's not where we're getting those. So please pay attention, be alert, be aware, and let's do something to reduce these.
Yeah, those are all good points. And one other thing I want to bring up too, that I've seen a few in the few numbers of increased a little bit, is lane restriction violations. And that's just for not being in the right lane. And I know it's not the end of the world per se, but when you got 3 or more lanes, usually in most states, that far left lane trucks are not supposed to be in, and they got signs up telling you, and there's really no reason to be out there. And I'm a firm believer, and I don't really agree with that law, but it is what it is. And the states have passed that to keep trucks out of that far left lane from impeding traffic and letting the 4-wheelers go by. And yeah, many of them are speeding or motorcycles or whatever, but let them have that lane. Don't get out there, because we don't want to be involved with a vehicle in that lane. And so stay out of that and keep to the other 2 lanes when you're in those multi-lane interstates. So, but I know it's tough, and I know sometimes you think you may have to get out there, but try to stay away, because there's really no reason. If an officer sees you, they're going to stop you, and that's going to be the beginning of the inspection. And like John said, for any moving violation, one thing leads to the next. It's kind of a domino effect. They're going to look at your hours of service. They're going to look at your maintenance on your truck and do one thing to the next. So just be aware of that. But overall, John, 72%, I think that's a great percentage. Anytime we're over 70, I'm happy as a lark, whatever a lark is, but I'm happy.
Absolutely. And next we're gonna talk a little bit about hours of service. We did have a couple of violations there. So we're going to share our time this morning with our log department. So we're going to bring up Alicia first. All right. They're trying to confuse us this morning. So good morning, ma'am. How are you?
Good morning. Yes, it can be confusing. We do have now 2 Alicias. So this week, we did have kind of like what you guys were saying with the domino effect. A driver that was pulled over for speeding and in the improper lane. It was also found during the inspection that he was driving on his co-driver's logs. So make sure you guys are always aware before you take off. And also on top of that, with this inspection, this wasn't corrected until we had to contact them. So if you guys ever get pulled over, make sure it gets corrected as soon as possible. So to switch from your guys' co-drivers, go back into that login screen, touch and highlight. If you're taking over, hit change and verify that your bubble is in active state before you take off. And verify once, if you do take off, get it fixed as soon as possible. Because even though this driver got ticketed, if you go somewhere down another state, you can still get ticketed for that again. So just make sure you get it taken care of. And if you do get something like this, get it addressed as soon as possible, okay? So.
All right. So yesterday in our weekly safety staple, we also put something out about logs and hours of service. And just, there's a couple of things that we're seeing on these inspections that are leading to some of these citations like you're talking about. So maybe talk a little bit about certifying your logs daily, and then where they can get a paper logbook.
Get a paper logbook at any Prime terminal, okay? So they're free, but if you find that you do not have one, you can also buy them at a truck stop. But if you're at a Prime terminal, just go ahead and grab a few while you're at any Prime terminal. So certifying your logs, that's a low-hanging fruit. Just make sure you certify your logs before you start your current shift from the previous day, because DOT can actually give you a ticket for every single day that is not certified. So anything that is not signed off, just make sure you stay up to date on it.
Okay, thank you very much. Does anybody have any questions for Alicia? All right, thank you very much.
Okay.
All right, we're going to bring up Alicia now. Are you guys going to talk together? I'm sorry, maybe I had that wrong. Okay.
I think Alicia was here for questions because
I got you. Well, I don't have to have a show of hands, but if anybody in here is uncertain about certifying their daily logs or anything log related, they're going to be over here to answer any questions. So please come up and ask some questions prior to getting out of here this morning. We'll ask that you both stick around for a little bit. So thank you very much.
Let's move on, man. And our next speaker, driver health and fitness is always a big thing here at Prime. And every Friday morning, we love having either Colby or Rachel up here. And I think this week we got Colby. If we can get his attention, I think he's back there holding the. Oh, we got Rachel too. All right. The duo, Wonder Man. All
Hey,
right,
good morning.
love it. Good deal.
Yeah,
Good
somebody
morning.
said yay. I like that. I know it was D, wasn't it? So, hey, everybody, good morning. I'm Colby with Driver Health and Fitness. This is Rachel, our on-site dietitian.
Good morning.
As every week, you guys know, we come on and talk about a health tip. We talk to drivers about different things. Obviously, this month is Sleep Awareness Month, so we always wanted this is our last chance to get another plug-in for sleep. Rachel, what do you have for us this morning we can help with?
Yeah, so one of the big things to help out with sleep is try to avoid taking in caffeine about like 6-ish hours before bedtime. So if you can have that gap time before you're going to fall asleep, that is super helpful. The farther you are away from sleep, the better. So, let's say you are drinking 3 hours before bedtime. That's still better than right up before you fall asleep.
So caffeine wise, I think coffee, right? Things like that. Is there something that we can think about that has caffeine that maybe be like, oh, I had no idea, right? I mean,
Yeah, so
what are a couple things like that?
coffee, of course, but then energy drinks. There's certain sodas. A lot of different sodas have caffeine. And then teas as well, like green teas, black teas.
Is there food? Any foods that have caffeine? Just curious.
There's a
Put me on
little
the
bit in
spot.
chocolate.
In chocolate? Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't know. What'd you say? Peanut M&Ms before bed? Yeah, I know. Yeah, probably not on there. We could talk about on the side how to work through it. Maybe cut the chocolate out and just eat the peanut. So yeah. But another thing we're going to talk about, obviously caffeine, but it's exercise. Obviously, in the health and fitness department, it's really important. But we want to make sure that obviously exercise can affect your sleep too. Same thing, not right before bed kind of thing, because your body has to come and bring your body temperature down. But it is a way to actually help regulate your body temperature, which does help put you to sleep. So if you ever have questions about anything, we will always tease more things every week. Hopefully you found some of this stuff important, but you guys know we're here to help you any way we can. We did see, and we have seen, you guys know this, we have on our, thanks to Brianna, our IT department, on your guys' app, we have a driver health and fitness section now that has workouts, nutrition videos, has check-ins. If you guys want to send us, hey, I got a question about something, it's literally right on your app. Go to My Prime on your driver app and go to My Prime, and then there's a driver health and fitness section. It's a great way to plug in with us really quickly. So we're always here to help you guys any way we can. So anybody got any questions in any locations, anything? Or anybody got a tip that they want to throw at us real quick about their sleep? There you go. Always give you a chance. All right.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right. Good info, man. Way to go. Always a good couple to have up here. Excellent idea, especially one of the hardest weekends this weekend to watch your health and watch your fitness and watch what you eat.
Absolutely. I should probably pay more attention when they're talking.
Yeah, especially a box of donuts she brought in this morning, and I'm trying to watch what I eat, and he brings in a box of donuts. Here, Dave, have a couple. Nope, I've stayed away, Johnny. See, Johnny can eat stuff like that. He can get away. He's like in his 40s. His metabolism goes, and I look at one and I think I gained 5 pounds. So, but anyway, that was a nice gesture on your part. But I know our department likes them. So.
Oh yeah, I do too. They're for me, really. So.
Okay, there you go. All right, so moving along, who we got?
All right,
next?
so we're going to bring up Heather with Cardinal Sleep, and of course, this is Sleep Awareness, Sleep Apnea Month. So good morning, Heather.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Heather with Cardinal Sleep. And so I'm just going to, give you a few facts real quick about sleep apnea. And then I'm going to introduce Paige in Pittston. And she's just going to tell you her hours of service and kind of what's going on there. We've been open in Pittston since October. So we're just going to give you a little bit more information about that. But a couple of things that I wanted to tell you is this is just our little facts about sleep apnea. Only 25% of people who have OSA have been diagnosed. So that means that 75% have gone undiagnosed. So that's a big amount of people. So if you have any issues, you feel like you aren't sleeping well, or even if you're sleeping well and you don't feel good when you get up, if you have any fatigue or anything, give us a call and we can help you out, get you set up with a consult if you need one, and just go from there. This one was really interesting to me. I haven't heard this one before, but the Wisconsin Sleep Cohort Society found that smokers are 340% more likely to have obstructive sleep apnea. So that's a big one. So just keep that in mind when if you're a smoker, that you're increasing your risk for sleep apnea. Also, 95% of people with obstructive sleep apnea have a decreased attention span. So that one is the one that really affects driving. That's the one that you want to think about. This is all about your health. So it's really important that if you have those issues, that you look into them and you see what's going on. One other thing I wanted to talk about before I introduce Paige is we have the travel devices. We've had a lot of people ask about the travel devices. Let me see if I can get this here in my hand. They're really small. A lot of drivers have asked about them for vacations and things. They also report every day. So you can use these every day on the truck if it works out for you. The humidity is a little bit different on them. It does have humidity, but it works different. But they're really great. They're like the size of my hand. My husband uses one when we travel. He loves it. So there's no issues with them at all. So if you want to look into one of those, just give us a call and we'll go over everything with you and get you set up with one of these if you'd like to purchase one. Yeah, oh, get with me. Yeah, if you're wondering about the cost of everything, it comes with some accessories. So just get with me after the meeting or Paige and we'll go over that with you. Okay, I'm going to introduce Paige out in Pittston and she's going to just tell you about what's offered out there.
Thanks, Heather. Like she said, my name's Paige. I manage the Cardinal Sleep in Pittston. Just wanted to let you guys know where we are located. If you're coming from the cafeteria, we're down the hall past the company store on the left. You'll see in the window in the hallway, there's a Cardinal Sleep sign. I'm right in there. We do offer all the same services that Springfield and Utah offer, replacement supplies, consults with physicians, and we do the sleep studies as well. If you have any questions at all, please come see me or give me a call. We also work with Lehigh Valley in Pittston to do the physicals for the drivers, and we can get them done the same day and get the drivers back out on the road. They're all walk-ins, so it's very convenient. My hours here are Monday through Friday, 8 to 4. And if anybody just has any general questions about sleep apnea, you could also come in. I have some reading materials on that as well.
All
My
right,
phone number.
thanks, Paige.
I don't have my phone number off the top of my head, but I do have business cards with me. So
Good. All right. Well, I'm going to give it back to John and Dave. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Heather.
Yeah.
So I'm going to brag on Heather and her team here a little bit. You know, we had a meeting probably, gosh, it's probably been almost 2 years ago now, over a year and a half ago. And, you know, we asked a lot of Heather and her team and they came through. And, you know, for anybody out there that's on a CPAP device, I just wanted to give you guys a round of applause for paying attention to your health, doing the right thing, making yourself healthier, which is what it's all about, right? You're the biggest asset here at Prime, but I don't believe we've had a week where we've been under 90% in almost 2 years now. So we've been
knocking it out of the ballpark.
90%, between 90 and 95% compliant for the drivers that are on our fleet on CPAP for almost 2 years now. So give those folks a round of applause out there. Great job. Keep it up.
Just by chance here, how many of you are on CPAP in here? Okay, good deal. So am I. I'm with you, man. So, but if you ever have issues, problems, questions, Heather and her staff, man, they're awesome to work with. That's where I go to. And I could go through the other places here in Springfield, but I don't. I go to her because she can figure it out a lot quicker, a lot faster. And it's a lot easier too. So, and more cost efficient. I'll just be honest with you. She does a pretty good job on the cost. So, but anyway, Johnny, anything else?
That's it. If anybody has any questions, Heather's going to stick around for a little bit. Feel free to come up and talk to Heather after the meeting.
We got one of your cohorts coming up next, man. You used to dispatch with him.
We do. We sat next to each other for like 6 years, I think. So
Get to know him real well, did you?
I did. I lost
right.
my I used to get a stipend for having to sit next to him.
There
So
you go.
I
That's
missed
pretty good.
that.
That's
So
pretty good, man.
we're going to bring up Chris Martin in our training department here. So Chris, come on up. Chris handles all the pairings between the trainers, instructors, PSD students, and TSD students. So good morning, Chris.
Good morning. I'll be fast. They give me 3 minutes. I'm going to take 4, I think. So I'm Chris Martin. I work in the training department. And when I get up here, I mean, when I come up here in these meetings, I'm not trying to hit all of training in one conversation. Okay, so just some quick points, right? So today I'm going to talk about a couple things that are pretty basic, common sense, but they're a big deal. They're especially a big deal if they don't happen right. And real quick, I'll just say too, I know when I'm up here, I'm talking to people that maybe aren't trainers. Okay, they're not involved in training. I hope everybody at some point plans to be involved in training, but here's the deal. I want everybody to know that, you know, how do we handle things? What's the right answers, right? Because, you know, even if you're not a trainer, you're wearing a prime jacket, you got a prime hat, and somebody comes up and asks you a question, I want you to have the right answer. I want you to know, why do we do things the way we do it? How do we do it? So here's what we're going to talk about. Clean trucks and being in the top bunk when the truck is moving, okay? Sound good? All right, clean trucks. So clean trucks, if you know one thing, if I get one thing across, I want you to know it's a big deal to us, okay? Having a clean truck for a trainee is a big deal. I mean, they're not just working in there, they're living in there, all right? And to the extent that anytime somebody comes in to be a trainer, part of that training class is getting an inspection on the truck. And if the truck doesn't pass inspection, they don't get to train. Yes. Okay? A clean truck to me, that's, a truck that doesn't have clutter on the dash, doesn't have clutter on the floor. If I look in the back of that truck, I ought to see space for two people to be able to sleep. Now, we're not always sleeping at the same time, but there's times when we need to be able to both sleep back there. So, the top bunk, for example, we can't have storage containers across there, but there's got to be enough space. And it can't stink, all right? So all these trucks are going to smell like they've been lived in and they've been worked in, but there's a difference between that and a truck that stinks. So, these are all a big deal to us. When I talk to the new people coming in that have a permit and we talk to them about being in a clean truck, I want them to ask the trainer and say, hey, on that first phone call, what can I do to help you keep your truck clean? All right? I mean, it's a passive way of telling somebody that they expect to be in a clean truck, okay? Because again, it's a big deal to us. If I was going to tell you, what could you do to, if you're talking to a trainee, what can you help him do to help him keep the truck clean, okay? I mean, here would be the biggest thing for me. But keeping the truck clean is probably little things you do every day, right? But the big thing for me would be tell them to stay in consistent communication with their fleet manager, okay? I think that's a big deal. If the trainee knows the trainer is talking to the fleet manager and the trainer knows the trainee is talking to the fleet manager, right? Then that fleet manager has a presence in the truck. And if the fleet manager has a presence in the truck, I think we all do our job a little bit better, okay? And it's also a weekly opportunity for that trainee to tell the fleet manager if the truck is getting out of sorts, right? So, again, if you remember one thing about it, clean trucks are a big deal to us. We want to know if somebody has a situation, we want them to talk to their fleet manager about it. If they can't get a hold of their fleet manager about it, they can get a hold of me, Chris Martin, call the switchboard, say, get me to Chris Martin, okay? Second thing, top bunk. We can't be in the top bunk when the truck is moving, all right? It's against the law, it's dangerous, it's a bad deal. To the extent that, if we find out folks are doing it, they can be disqualified, all right? It's not just something we tell you, it's something we mean it. We don't want people in the top bunk. If somebody falls out of a top bunk, the few times that I've heard about it happening, it's not just bruises, right? It's a pretty bad injury. And I don't know that I've also ever heard of it happening on a highway. I mean, for me, the times that I've heard about it, it's been in a parking lot. It's been at a short distance at a slow speed. And I think that's a big deal because I think, if I hear about somebody being in the top bunk, they say, well, we were just going from the receiver to that truck stop down the road, right? Or we were just going from the staging area to the dock. Well, that's a big deal. I mean, you think about, when is somebody likely to roll out of a top bunk? It's when the truck is stopping and starting and it's changing directions, and that's when somebody rolls, right? So if you talk to somebody, if you find out that's going on, let them know that it can't happen. They're going to get hurt. If they're being asked to do it, they need to talk to their fleet manager. They need to talk to me, okay? Easy stuff, common sense. Any questions on any of that? Nope. All right, happy Easter.
Hey, hang on just a second here. So when should I start? If I'm a new driver here, this is my first safety meeting. I'm here. I'm at one of the other terminals. I'm listening on one of the social medias that we're being broadcast on right now. But when can I start thinking about becoming a trainer and instructor?
Okay, so if you're in orientation in Springfield, then you already know the answer to that question because you say Chris Martin came and talked to us on Tuesday and he told us all to start thinking about that. So I would tell you, as you are training, you're looking at things that your trainer does and you're saying, hey, what are the things they do really well that I'm going to do when I train, right? And what are the things that I might do a little bit different when I train? But that first conversation you have with the fleet manager, and I hope they ask you first, but if they don't, you ask them, hey, I know it's a long ways off. I'm just starting here, but when can I train? Can you keep me in mind? I'll be your best trainer. Okay, but right away is the answer.
All right, great answer. So, yes, sir.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I'm a TNT trainer. It's about to keep the track clean. What about if a student, put trash in my track? Who's supposed to clean? It's me or him?
I think whatever you're going to do, I think the best thing, if I were you and I'm going to train going forward, is I would have in mind to talk about all of that when I first get in the truck. That's one of my first conversations is how do we do this when we get in the truck, right?
Yeah.
So you set the expectation, here's how it's going to work. My answer would be that both people participate in that. Both people put trash in, both people take trash out. Now, if that doesn't happen, and I'm thinking maybe there was a time that didn't happen,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
Then you'd get your fleet. I want you to get help from your fleet manager.
Yeah. Another question. Some students come with attitude. He can say yes for the, like, here, I'm going to clean.
Okay.
But he's still doing that. I got this problem, I ask him, hey, can you clean? He refused to clean. I can clean for him. I'm not there to babysit somebody, He's a man. He's supposed to clean.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave the track like that until he feel like, oh, it's dirty. I say, yeah, you're supposed to clean too, It's not easy to keep the track clean, or if we can just clean for them, it should be good.
I think I like your question because I think there's probably a lot of trainers out there wondering the same thing. Okay, maybe they run into the same thing. Here's what I tell you. All of us have a little bit of attitudes, right?
Yeah.
And we all have habits that we bring in the truck. So you bring somebody in your truck, you're bringing their habits with them, right?
Yeah.
And here's what I would tell you. If you've told them how you expect things to go and it's not happening, what I want you to do is to get your fleet manager's help in taking care of that. And the short answer is if we tell someone our expectation and they won't meet that, then maybe we have to make a change, right? But it doesn't need to get to the point that we're mad at each other and we don't like each other, okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
You bet.
We got another question right over here.
So I kind of want to talk to you really, really quickly. I work in the training department and I do teach the instructors class. One of the things I'm always telling the instructors is you got to maintain your standard and your position as the instructor. From the very beginning, Chris just said it, but from the very beginning, you're going to lay out your truck rules. When you first meet with your student, you're going to communicate all the way through that training. If you just have that student on the truck and you're not reiterating everything that you've already discussed, because really, as a TNT trainer, you're showing them how to respect you. You're also showing them how to do the job, right? And so you don't want to ever lose that student's respect. And the best way to do it is to continually communicate with that person. If you're not doing the thing, you can't expect your student to do the thing, right? You guys are both on the truck. You guys stop at a truck stop. You take a 30-minute break or whatever break you have during the time you're at the shipper or receiver. You can say to that student, all right, we're just going to knock this out. Let's clean up this truck real quick. That's how you do it. You ease into the conversation without feeling like you got to stick your chest out as the trainer. You are the person who directs how this whole training process goes, right? And so you got to maintain that. You got to maintain the communication within that truck.
Thanks, Dee. And before I get out of here, I talked about we can't sleep in the top bunk when the truck is moving. So where do we sleep at? We sleep in the bottom bunk. When we're in that bottom bunk sleeping, we need to have that net up. Okay, there's a net in that truck. There should be a net in the truck. We have it up when we're sleeping in the bottom. Okay, if you don't have one, if you don't know how to use it, then I want you to ask us. Okay, but that's a big deal. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Chris.
Good information, John. He brought up a good point about clean truck, because that'll help you on a DOT inspection too. And that you pull across the scale, or what are they looking at for trucks? You know, they're looking at CSA scores, they're looking at ISS scores, but they're also looking at your truck. Many inspectors do. And that's what they're going to gauge off of. Do I want to take a look at this truck, or do I want to look at the next one behind them that's dirty, that's filthy, it's got a bungee cord holding up the fender or whatever it may be. And that's where I'm going to get my biggest bang for the buck when I'm writing that inspection, is looking at those trucks that look like they have issues. So by all means, keep that truck clean and keep stuff off your dash, because they look at that, and that's very important.
Perception is everything. And,
There you go.
you're talking about the, 6 months worth of bill of ladings across the dash and a Hardee's bag. That's a, that's
Box
going to
of
get
donuts.
We need to just move on from the box of donuts.
sorry.
So, all right, Hardee's bag. One other thing that I'm just going to put a plug in here for is how many of you here have your new IFTA sticker on the side of your truck? If you don't, please do that before you leave here. That's another thing. Those stickers are different colors, and
There's a reason why they're different colors, so they
it's
can
very
pick them
easy
out.
to get pulled in, and we've seen an uptick in those in the last 2 weeks. So if you haven't got that, if you're here, if you're in Pittston, if you're in Salt Lake City, I believe we have them in Manuka, Laredo. We have them across the country here. So if you have not done that, please do that.
All right, good information. Anybody have any questions so far? This is your guys' meeting. We got one right there. Go ahead, sir.
Good morning, Adam. Been here 8 years. I'm nothing but grateful for Prime. Prime's done wonderful by me and my family, and I always say thank you to the two main dogs when I see them. Thank you very much. I do have a question back in my head. I know freight's low. I know some drivers I've been talking to have been sitting a little bit longer, especially on weekends. And it's a big thing. A lot of people want to get their own authority, put their own name on the side of the truck. And when somebody does that, they take the responsibility for getting their own loads and booking their own stuff. Since freight is low and we've lost some business, I keep seeing a lot of Wilson and BLC and these outside companies pulling our freight when our drivers are sitting there. So my question is, and I don't know, I'm just one guy. I don't know the big macro picture and the numbers, so I don't know. So maybe I just need some help to understand why I see other people driving our freight when we're sitting around. Just help me out, because I want to be happy and continue.
Well, we got Steve Wookie, our Vice President of Sales right here. Steve?
Yeah, thank you for that question. And it is important that everybody understands what actually is going on. First of all, you all need to know we're running about 350 trucks fewer this year than this time last year, simply because we know freight's a little bit soft and we don't want to compromise your earnings by adding additional capacity. Yet we also know that this is going to flip at some point, and we want to be able to get our market share when it flips. It's been a long, tough situation here, but we feel that it's kind of at the end and starting to come up again. As it relates to Wilson, who has been a partner of ours for 25, 30 years. No, that's okay. That's just fine. It's a really good question. And here's why it's a good question. Because when business was over the top strong, they were in there giving us capacity, and they were giving us the same level of service that you all give us. They're truly a partner of ours. So when we're looking at growth and opportunity, we will want to consider additional people like Wilson when the market is correct. Our goal, we say it and we smile, but we want TWD, total world domination, because we know when we get there, then we've got an opportunity to do things on the rate side that others can't. We're already able to fight through some of the lower pricing simply because of the service that you all give. Listen, nobody does it better than you people. Nobody. And those of you that are out there driving, we cannot thank you enough. But it does put us in a really powerful position when we're talking with our customer base. And our scores are so high in a relative sense to the rest of the carriers that they're using. So thank you for that. We need to continue to do it. We don't need to do it at the expense of safety. Safety will always be our highest calling. So if you're on a hot load and you feel like you're running out of energy and you're getting sleepy, man, pull over. Just communicate with your fleet manager. Let him know exactly what you're doing so that we can recover that load or at least advise our shipper and receiver what's going on. You're on to something, and you're correct. Freight is a little bit tough. Now, I got the owner over here. I don't know where he went. Oh, so I can say that since he's gone. We could load every truck today at 90 cents a mile. You see, that's the low price. Now, I know that you don't want that. I know I don't want that. I want y'all to make a great living. And we have been able to stabilize the rate structure for the most part during all of the bids that we've gone through here. And again, we're able to do it simply because of the service and safety that you all give us. So I hope I answered your question. We are going to continue to position ourselves for the next cycle. We think it's important that when business picks up, they call prime, because we want to have that capacity to handle that business. And it is a bit of a timing element. So we're really monitoring what the business conditions are. We're looking at what our customer base is telling us. You know, many of our customers are off 15 to 18% in total volume, just simply because of our economy and the structure that we're under right now. So hang in there. We all going to get through it together, and we're going to get through it safely, and we're going to get through it because of the service you give us. You know, since I got the microphone, I want to ask a question. Where's Chris? There, Chris, come here a minute. Grab a microphone. I don't want to get off here, but I need to clarify one thing. Chris, now, tell me something. If I'm a trainer, lead seat, I'm the boss man. All right. And I get me a trainee, and I get him aside and I say, you're going to work with me. You're going to be my partner, but you're going to have to emulate what I do, whether that's driving, cleanliness, personal hygiene, trash, as you're talking about. You got to put your parameters around that, right?
Correct.
And would you say personal hygiene is part of that, Chris?
I think it's a big deal. Absolutely. I mean, you represent prime when you go into a customer, and I mean, you talked about setting the tone on the truck. Yeah, you get your shower and you set an example for the other person when you're getting your shower. And for me, when you're getting your showers, the only way you get your showers out there, either one of you, is you got to plan ahead, right? It doesn't just happen. You plan for it. And when you're getting your showers, you're not only being clean, but you're teaching them how to plan for stuff. It's something they haven't ever had to do before, is plan for a shower, you know? And I think we all got to keep in mind, like I said, we all got our own attitudes, we got our own habits, we all also have our own smells. And sometimes we don't know if we don't smell good. So I'm just telling every trainer out there, at least every other day, we got to figure out a way to be getting into a shower. I know exceptions come up, I get it. But if we're planning ahead and we make it a priority, and if you make your shower a priority too, you're telling that trainee that they're a priority for you, right? And nothing makes a truck smell bad quicker than we don't get a shower.
Birds of a feather. Yeah. You know what I mean? We got to lead. They are we are training them, okay? And not just driving, but some of these other personal hygiene habits and cleanliness, okay? And if you can't feel good about doing it, then you probably shouldn't be training. And we want you to be able to train, but we want you to do it right, okay? Say, I'll be back up here in a minute. John, sorry, I probably got a little bit longer time than you expected, but I like this microphone.
You can hang on to it if you'd like to.
Man, he was on a roll. I like that. He did awesome. So.
Absolutely. We're going to bring him up here again just real shortly, but first we're going to talk about cargo claims. We're going to bring up one of our refrigerated fleet managers, Derek Hausman. and Jeff Chisholm in cargo claims. So Jeff and Derek, good morning.
Morning. Good morning, everybody. My name is Jeff Chisholm in Cargo Claims. Actually, I came down here to be a spectator to watch Derek do his thing this morning. But he wanted to share some information from a fleet manager perspective on, some of the important things you need to do at the shippers and how to protect yourself from claims and the things we really need to watch for. So I'm going to kind of let him just dive into that real quick, and then we can kind of discuss it a little more as we get going.
Well, Steve gives us the perfect segue, talking about the market, talking about freight. It's a concern for all of us. So we've got to get really good at what we do. We provide safety, we provide service. We've also got to make sure that we're watching out for claims. We've got processes in place, things that we need to follow. We got to hang on to as much of our own revenue as we can. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was, what do we do before we leave the shipper? Of course, sorry, a little coaching from John. Thanks, John. So the first thing we need to do is we got to look at our bills, right? Now this can sometimes get a little bit tricky. Sometimes we've got more than one delivery. We might have more than one page to look at. We might even have different information on each page for each stop. So we've got to be looking at those and reading those. We can't just read the first page and say, well, there's the temp, it's 35 degrees, it's 42 degrees, whatever it says, and just assume that the rest of the load is the same. We've got to look at every page. We've got to make sure we're verifying that information. We're asking that you guys circle that information and initial it so that we know that you've looked at it. We know that we verified it. And if you have a question, please ask it. That's your opportunity to feel good about what you're hauling and confident that you're doing it the right way. Okay, that's the whole point of the process. So also use some of your good sense. If you're hauling a load of bananas, it's important to know what your product is. If you're hauling bananas and it says -10, who really wants frozen bananas, right? Maybe in the summertime, but let's still double check, right? So make sure you're looking at that information every single page, every single time. I know sometimes it can be frustrating for you guys. It's hard to get a hold of somebody at times. If you don't get right through and you're sitting on hold listening to one of our great managers talk about their department while you're sitting on hold or some of that awesome music and you get tired of it, just call your fleet manager. Okay, get us on the phone. We're happy to take those calls and get it processed because we know how important it is. All right, and we're just asking that you guys respect that process. Please don't leave the shipper until you verified that information. That's really all I've got for it. Did you have something to add? What am I missing?
You pretty well covered a lot of it. Listen, I'm always impressed about how our fleet managers get involved in every aspect of the business. I mean, these guys are just the best of the best, and they truly care. We talk about these claim issues every single week, and we bring up the problems that we have and what costs us money. And I really, truly hope you guys buy into it. I hope you believe it. I hope you understand that these are crucial things that we have to get right. I mean, it's just money out of your pocket. It's money out of our pockets. So, be very diligent. Look at your temps carefully. Make sure you got good, clean trailers, good working reefers. If you ever pick up a preload and you feel there's anything wrong, it's out of temp, it's not working properly, please contact us. Let us do the things that we need to do to protect you and protect your business and protect Prime. So,
I think Robert calls it skin in the game.
I believe he does.
We've all got that skin in the game, guys.
Yes, we do.
And if you're one of my drivers out there watching and listening, please verify your information. I know I sent you guys a fleet message yesterday. We talked about some of those details. Get me on the phone. If you have any delays, get me on the phone. We still want to get you out of there on time and provide service, but it doesn't do us any good if we ruin the product.
All right, that's all I got, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Thank you both. Jeff and Derek are going to hang out over here if anybody has any questions. If anybody has any questions at the other terminals, grab somebody with the mic and they'll find somebody that can answer it for you.
Yes, most definitely. We'll be here after the meeting. So, yep. What do we got next?
All right, we're going to bring up Rick Lucio in our sales department here.
Big Cardinals fan. I like this.
Big Cardinals fan. We're already in the cellar.
Retired. Way to go, Rick.
Good morning, everybody. Rick Amucio, and I work in reefer sales. I'm working on my 30th year here, and it's an honor and a privilege to work for you all for all these years. I'm kind of the drug man here at Prime. I manage a lot of our life science customers, all pharma, diagnostics, different things. So a lot of things that we talked about in this meeting, help with that business. The main thing is teams. It's all high value freight. They want team drivers on those loads. So one person staying with the truck and trailer at all times. Right now, we're really busy with Eli Lilly. They're right now the most valued pharma company in the world. They're selling the products that are real popular for diabetes and also weight loss. So they have the one approved weight loss drug out there, Zepbound, that's going crazy. So a lot of things are back ordered. They're giving us a lot of business. So we need a lot of teams. So any of you guys considering training, a lot of our teams are the trainer-trainee concepts. So we need more of you because there's lots of opportunities to haul that high-value freight. Of course, that high-value freight moves at a high premium in our network. So a lot of you have probably hauled it. And if you can get, a lot of those loads back to back, it really makes for a good week. Piggybacking on Steve's comments, I was at FedEx this last Tuesday for a carrier meeting. And as Steve mentioned, they brought up our scorecard. FedEx announced last April that they were merging all their divisions together and that they were needing to find $4 billion in savings because, they weren't performing very well. So it was a challenge last year getting business because they were trying those low price carriers. But we got a lot of business back because of the service that you all provide. Again, that's all team freight, just in time, guaranteed service stuff. So we've retained a lot of that business through their bid process. And they already let me know that, be ready for more loads to come because there's going to be carriers that are going to fail right out of the gate. So another win for us is Wells Blue Bunny ice cream. We just got awarded 36 lanes with them. They've been an up and coming customer. That's all frozen ice cream. We picked up a lot of Walmart lanes with them, again, because of the service that you all provide. So really appreciate that. The future's bright and things are looking good. We have spring last week. We had opening day baseball yesterday in the first quarter. So the second quarter is going to start. So Lent is ending today. Easter is this weekend. And so the meat protein shippers should start picking up. So I think things are going to be good. Thank you all for everything you do.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
Man, excuse me, John, if I could. Hey, Ricky, come here a minute. So Rick, as he said, he's been with us about 30 years. Rick, have you seen a cycle that we've been in, say, for the last 18 months? Have you ever seen anything quite like it as far as the ups and downs and the freight situation?
Yeah, I've seen it. Being here 30 years, I've gone through a lot of cycles. So in the 30 years that I've been here, I've been in operations. I've been a sales coordinator. I've been an assistant. I've been a fleet manager. So I've experienced all the ups and downs through the different parts of operation. I've been in the sales role since 2008. So I've seen the good times. And right now I'm feeling myself some of the downturn with, losing some of this business because customers are choosing to utilize those low price carriers, but that business comes back to us. And again, it's because of everything that you all do. So, the cycle will turn. It's hopefully sooner.
So share with all of our operators, what's our strategy, our sales strategy? What is it?
Sales strategy is low cost. We're not aiming to be that low price carrier. So
man, you get a $100 bill. You answered that correct. So Rick's just one of many of our salespeople. Oftentimes, I think some people get more credit for what you all are getting done, but we've got a great sales team. Many good sales guys that spend time out on the road trying to bolster our volume up, and and find good paying freight in good lanes that solve some of our deadhead issues. So Ricky, I want to thank you for that. Thanks for that pharmaceutical. We call him the drug man, but really it's pharmaceuticals. Right, Rick?
Yes, and nobody does it better than you guys. Thank you.
We're just gonna ask you to stay up here, because we're gonna mention something real quick. If you have a question with the Prime app, all right, if you're here on the terminal, we've got Richard and Brianne right over here. They are the experts. They know everything there is to know about the Prime app. So if you're having any issues with it, but I thought it'd be very fitting to ask a veteran to honor our military this morning.
Yeah, I appreciate it. You see a lot of red around here. That just simply remember everyone deployed. We really value those of you that served in the armed forces. Robert and I did our time as well. So would you all please stand up and be recognized for your service to our country? All of you, please. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you all for your service. Much appreciated. And by the way, happy Good Friday to you. Obviously, this is a special day for many people. Hope you get where you want to be for Easter. If you can get home, that's great. If you don't, I hope we're keeping you busy, and I'm sure our customers really appreciate that. Safety again. Safety is always first. When you get in that truck, please do me a favor. Put your seatbelt on. I can't stand seeing us getting written up for not having seatbelts on. Somebody loves you. Your family loves you. We love you. And you're going to be safer with your seatbelt on. We talk about health and wellness around here a lot because we know that a healthy driver is a safer driver. So please keep those things in mind. We want you to get out there and be safe around the motoring public. There's always a four-wheeler out there that's going to try to wreck you. It's just that they don't drive very good. You're the professionals. It's your obligation to figure that out. So please be safe. I'm going to get Robert to come up here and wrap up this meeting. Thank you all again for what you do. Nobody does it better. Thank you.
Damn, Jim, I thought you were going to talk forever.
Jim. What did you say, Jim? Oh,
Jim.
That's my nickname, isn't it?
Yeah, that's your nickname.
Okay.
Among others. I have some other names for you, too. Maybe not suitable for mixed company here, but I'll remind you later. Good morning, everybody. Good to see you. Happy Easter. It's a great time of year. It's springtime and a time for celebration and giving thanks. I give thanks for you all. You're my family right here. That's what I do. I've been doing it 54 years. So, I join these other guys. Ricky, I've seen a cycle or two. I've seen a bunch of them. And they always end. They start, they peak, they bottom out, and it turns. We're a strong company. We're financially strong. I think you all would agree with that. We're gonna survive this. It's gonna be a little rough. It's gonna be a little bumpy. But when you really drill down and look at our numbers, we're gonna have some bumps in the road. But that's what separates the strong from the weak. And we are strong. You are strong. And we're going to survive. When it comes back, it's going to be better. We went through a 100-year pandemic, really upset the apple cart, right? That's why we have all these displacements and strange stuff going on with rates and truckers maybe in the business and brokers out there that perhaps shouldn't be there, don't know how to price the service. But that's what happens when you have these extraordinary events. So we've dealt with it well. We're going to continue to deal with it. You all are doing a hell of a job. We appreciate you very much. Appreciate you folks that just joined us. Our students, our trainees, God bless you. You're at the right place. Each of you have a joyous holiday. If you want to get home, I hope you can. After this holiday, I think you're going to see things start to improve. I'm not predicting the end, but I'm predicting there will be an end. I'm not saying when, but it will turn. So again, God bless you and thank you.